Like most teenage guys, when I was in high school, I had a crush, and I know you're all thinking, "OMG Pants is gonna be a sappy high school romance story," and believe me, no, there's no romancing involved in this story. But for the purposes of this video, I'll call the woman involved the ladies, so she doesn't have to feel like she was thrown into the worldwide media carelessly. Anyway, the ladies and I had a very nice friendship going for us. And looking back on it, both of us were pretty awesome in that neither of us were conformists, but did our own things that we enjoyed instead, but I was determined that we'd be awesome together. I, being the shy guy that I was at the time, couldn't bring myself to talk to her. I just couldn't. So I left notes on her locker, which was just a few away from mine since we were in the same homeroom. I made some assumptions based on observation that I probably shouldn't, and on the whole, I think I was a little creepy. I never got a true answer as much as I'm going to pretend that you don't exist now. I actually found out that she is going to the same college as me, and while I was on my way from a class to buy some textbooks that had come in late, we unexpectedly crossed paths, and the ladies told me that she liked my hat, though I don't think she recognized me. I want to have her as my friend again because we had some good times, and honestly, I know that I was in the wrong treating her as I did. As a result, the next time we bump into each other, I'm aiming to talk to her and hopefully learn something and reacquire a friend. Now, I'm sure you guys have been torn apart by a story that you don't think has anything to do with you, so let's get to what you guys are actually here for. The story is a perfect example of one of my main personal philosophies, namely the one I use to help guide myself when something from my past pops up, or I'm struggling in a class similarly to one that I've struggled in before. It's very simple. The philosophy is to learn from the past, live in the present, and look to the future. Having figured out that I treated her badly, I aim to make amends however I can in hopes of knowing her as a close friend in the future. Here's how it applies to you. One thing that I have noticed playing League this long is that humans, the people of habit, we tend to make the same mistakes repeatedly. Some people, myself included, I'm not going to try to exclude myself here, might splash without warding, or teleport at a really bad time, or just not watch the map. We can fix these issues by trying to learn what we're doing wrong and trying to stop making the same mistakes. I'm personally working on buying wards for split pushing and paying better attention to the map. By applying the things that we learn, we work to constantly improve ourselves on the Rift in hopes of reaching the ever-elusive Challenger tier. Now, I learned from my mistake on my own, the hard way. In League of Legends, you have 4 teammates. When you mess up and die, and note that I say when, not if. Everybody makes mistakes, and that's what makes us human. When you mess up and die, you should ask, what am I doing wrong, if you don't already know? If you think you know, say what you think you did wrong. This does 2 things for you as a player. First of all, it lets your teammates know that you already know what you're doing wrong, or at least you think you do. If you're wrong, a good player can tell you what you actually did wrong, and by seeing it in chat, especially from someone you don't actually know, you help yourself understand your weaknesses as a player, which allows you to start trying to fix the problems you learn about. The other thing that it does is it embeds the mistake in your memory. When you both think, say, type, write, or whatever. Well, I'll put it this way. The more ways you express the mistake to yourself, the more likely you are to remember it. And that helps you recognize it when you make it again in the future. This is part of why my skills as a player shot up drastically when I started making commentaries for this channel. But this philosophy isn't constrained to only League. This philosophy is part of how I got good at interacting with people. Well, good enough to pass for ordinary instead of completely and unintentionally socially awkward. It's how I got myself onto the job market after I turned 18. Like all things, to learn how to apply this concept, you need to start small. For example, you might realize you're forgetting about homework from a single class, and only that class, consistently. Start with things like that. Once you feel confident, then you can start applying this to the big things, like job interviews. Ask people for the black box when you screw up. It's that simple. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and most of all, I hope you got something out of it. Stay beautiful, don't suffer to anything that I wouldn't, and you guys will hear from me next time. And I can see like yesterday, smile on Grandma's face. And I can hear the love we shared as it echoes in this space. Though it's just a memory, it cannot be erased. We're like the big house, middle house, back house, barn. We're connected to this place. In the big house, middle house, back house, barn, we still live here and life goes on. Then a few changes and a few rearranges, but the love remains the same. And we all meet here maybe once a year, and we talk about the folks we hold so dear. And the kids make noise as they play with toys that come from another time. And I can see like yesterday, the smile on Grandma's face. And I can hear the love we shared as it echoes in this space. Though it's just a memory, it cannot be erased. We're like the lake house, middle house, back house bar. We're connected to this flame.